of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a roll call, supervisors, please? Supervisor Kubicki, Supervisor Holman. Supervisor Kalitzky is excused. Supervisor Holman is excused. Thank you. We're going to start with State of the County Address. County Executive Jim Kreuser.
Chairman Esposito, Vice Chairman O'Day, ladies and gentlemen of the County Board, elected officials, county employees, and citizens of Kenosha County. Since the last time we met in this chamber, Kenosha has lost one past County Board Chairman, and another one is now under hospice care. They served a combined total of over 60 years of public service. They saw prosperous times and plants shut down where they had worked. And both saw the county executive form of government introduced into Kenosha County back in 1982. This year we also lost former Supervisor Maureen Reed, who was one of the pioneering women in Kenosha County Board and Government. Maureen Reed, Ron Johnson, and Dick Kessler shared a deep love and commitment to county government. Tonight, we should celebrate their accomplishments and give their families and friends thanks for their service to Kenosha County. Supervisor Gable has a card, and I would hope everyone by the end of tonight, before you leave, if you could sign the card. He's going to deliver that tomorrow morning to Chairman Kessler, and it'll be deeply appreciated by the family. Thank you, Supervisor Gable. Since 1983, or for the past 36 years, it's been the duty of the county executive to report to you, the county board, the state of the county. For the past 9 years, it's been an honor to do so, and tonight is the 10th. Today, I'm proud to tell you that the state of Kenosha is robust, resilient, solid, heavy-duty, exceptional, and outstanding. Quite frankly, there just aren't enough positive adjectives to accurately describe our current condition. Saying that the state of Kenosha County is strong just doesn't serve it justice. We now have highest employment in new jobs in Kenosha, the lowest unemployment in 19 years. Income is rising. The overall crime rate has declined and is lower than the national average. In this region and across the state of Wisconsin, Kenosha is leading the way in key areas. It's the economy. Over the past 4 years, more than 8,000 new jobs have been created, and $1 billion of capital investment has been made in Kenosha County. We are the hot spot. We are bursting with opportunity and possibilities as we continue to attract and retain new businesses. From the new business park in Salem Lakes, which Kenosha County has helped in working with CABA and also the village of Salem Lakes, to the new industrial park in Summers, First Park 94, and the still bustling areas in and around West Park and the village of Pleasant Prairie. And if you look at when Highway Q That's what 165 was before it was 165. 30 years ago this year, that road was built. There wasn't a business out in West Park. We put the infrastructure in for that economic development. We have infrastructure on KR and on County Trunk S in the pipeline. What will it look like 30 years from now on the north side of our county? Pretty something. There's a lot of discussions of developments in the works also in Bristol and Twin Lakes. Kenosha County and CABA and with the High Impact Fund, which has been supported by this county board, has, since its inception, contributed $3.5 million in high impact funds to 9 companies or developments, producing just under 1,500 jobs and creating $168 million in capital investment. The Salem Business Park, with its first tenant, Vonco Products, has already resulted in $12 million in investment and 120 jobs. In Kenosha County, there are and continue to be major expansions of current businesses. Uline, for example, completed a 2.1 million square foot expansion, making a $150 million investment and adding 975 jobs, and more may be in the pipeline. In 2017, Kenosha County landed 2 of Wisconsin's largest economic development projects, Haribo and Gold Standard Baking. Haribo, the German candy maker of gummy bears, will be building a 500,000 square foot manufacturing facility, making a $242 million investment and adding 400 living wage jobs. Now that's a sweet development. All right, that was good, that was good, that was good. It's about our strategic investment for infrastructure. Many of the economic development gains have been made possible because of our commitment to improving our infrastructure. Good infrastructure leads to economic development, which leads to jobs. Infrastructure was important in developing West Park 30 years ago, and it's even more important now. Every commuter who travels north knows that the state of Wisconsin is working on the I-94 system between Kenosha and the Milwaukee County line. When that is finished, they tell me 2 years, but who knows? I think it'll be 2 years. That will dramatically boost our already growing economy with many other opportunities. Of course, you're aware of the state's work on County Trunk KR and County Trunk A and County Trunk H due to the development you might have heard of called Foxconn to the north of our border. And then finally, of the major projects, the county continues to plan for County Trunk Highway S to go 4 lanes with completion in about 2022. It's about the Brookside Care Center and our CBRF Willowbrook. Congratulations to the Brookside Care Center staff for a wonderful care to residents even under ever-changing conditions during the construction and renovation of our county's nursing home. Supervisor, yeah, give it to him. Supervisor O'Day, Nudo, Kubicki, and Gable have been out there so many times and they've seen that commitment and they can attest to the extra work they had to do during that process. You're all invited to the ribbon cutting for this outstanding project at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, May 15th to celebrate the tremendous support most of you gave this project. The $20 million project and staffing will be paid for and covered by revenues at the nursing home and the CBRF over the life of the note. It's our high-quality programs and commitment to cost-effective and efficiency. We made the commitment to address and improve mental health services in a number of ways, and we have done that with supporting the Care Center, which is now up and running. I concur with Chairman Esposito that we have more work to do in the area of mental health and opioids, and that continues to be a focus of Laverne Jaros and her Aging and Disability Resource Center team Thank you, Laverne, for all the work you've put in. And John Jansen and all of Human Services. John, thank you very much. It's important, and I want to recognize also many, many team members on this. I want to recognize the work of the Opioid Task Force, which meets frequently and comes up with great recommendations. The new Family Treatment Court, led by Chief Judge Jason Roselle. The continued successes of the county's Vivitrol program, the DA's First Offender program, and the Health Department's Narcan training. Our goal is to be proactive and help people address their addictions. The Summer Youth Employment Program that puts to work 200 to 250 at-risk youth has been described as one of our most successful summer crime reduction and mentoring programs by law enforcement. It continues to attract national attention, and the nation wants to know, how does Kenosha County do this? I want to say a thank you to the Children and Family Services Division for leading the way once again for the several state awards they've won on this. And you should know that many of these young people who are working in the Summer At-Risk Youth Program work in the private sector, and they work long after the program ends with that private sector employer. It really has helped a number of employers in our community. It's our quality of life investments. We find a smart, cost-effective way to do more with our county parks. We collaborate and have partnerships. There may be a couple of collaborations or partnerships that come to the board this year or early next. Our goal for the past 10 years was to have the public wear out the grass in our parks, give them different programming opportunities to utilize those parks for a very reasonable price. Each park is unique and has its own character. I ran into a gentleman this weekend. He was pleased that we had the fish stocked at KD Park, and he loves the path. They go around that path a lot. I want to thank Dennis Elverman, Public Works, and the rest of the county board. Think about what KD Park was 10 years ago. It was locked up. A lot of progress we made. Thank you, County Board. Appreciate all your work on KD. We have disc golf and pickleball at Fox River Park. We have our 3 dog parks, and we have the bike trail that'll soon be completed through Petrifying Springs Park, all the way to County Trunk KR. And that'll be connecting to the Racine County Bike Path System. These are some of the dynamic opportunities that will attract, intrigue, and retain residents in Kenosha County. And finally, we have 2 of the best golf courses in southeastern Wisconsin, and they continue to be in the black. It's our collective drive to be financially strong. And in Kenosha County government, we are financially strong. And we will be fiscally responsible to safeguard our county's present and be planful and proactive for our community's future. I, along with Chairman Esposito and Finance Chair Terry Rose, are committed for our county bond rating to reach AAA. Why does that matter? For instance, a mile of county road costs roughly $250,000 to rebuild. For a AAA county, the interest would be about the rate of inflation over 20 years, possibly before you rebuild it again. That's a smart way to do business. The rating agencies, how do they look at this? The rating agencies the rating agencies have said the path to a AAA requires that we need to check 2 of 4 boxes. Some are in our control, some are not in our control. Operating performance. In this category, we already received the AAA rating as a reflection of our management practices. Thank you to Dave Geertsen, Patty Merrill, Barna Bench, and the entire finance team for their leadership in this. What a turnaround. There's the revenue framework and the expenditure framework. And in these two areas, the bond rating agencies contend we will hit these marks if our rate of growth continues to grow at the current rate. And the fourth is the long-term liability burden. This is impacted by personal income growth in the county, our debt, and the debt of other taxing bodies in our county, the city, other municipalities, and the school districts. As long as our and our neighbors' long-term obligations continue to be modest increases, as they have been, and personal income continues to grow at a rapid pace, we will check that box. Again, we only need to check one more box to achieve AAA status. As the interest rates continue to climb, a AAA rating gives us flexibility and saves the county money now and secures the county's finances and fiscal future for our children and grandchildren. This is the smart way and the best way to do business. And it's what we've always been trying to do in Kenosha County. Under my administration, we have taken seriously the charge of being fiscally responsible to the taxpayers of this county. That includes keeping a tight rein on our overall general obligation debt and not pushing deferred maintenance onto future generations. The county's general obligation debt went up from $99.5 million in 1999 to $118.9 million in 2016. You subtract the Brookside project of $20 million, and our borrowing is relatively the same as it was 19 years ago. I repeat, excluding the added debt, which is paid through, from Brookside, operating revenues, such as Medicaid, Medicare, and residents' private pay, self-pay, the GO debt is currently basically the same as it was in 1999. Our OPEB, other post-employment benefit obligation, has been reduced significantly, going from a high of $132.6 million in 2008 to $72.4 million in 2016. Our vacation, casual time off obligation went from a high of $4.1 million in 2008 to a little over $100,000 in 2016. All of these material, positive trends are the result of the current administration's policies and initiatives that have been supported by this county board. We have been and will continue to be in this all together. The state of Kenosha County is exceptionally strong, and we continue to lead the way in many areas because Kenosha County is a leader in economic development. We are strategic in our investment in our infrastructure. We are committed to cost-effective and efficient, high-quality programs. We are willing to make quality of life improvements to attract and retain residents. We are deliberate in our goals to be even more fiscally sound, strong, and secure. And in these good times, it is even more important to work together in utilizing the best of all of our ideas to optimize the potential of Kenosha County. I look forward to working with each and every one of you during the workday, before the workday, after the workday, and on weekends, as we work together of a common goal of continuing to make Kenosha County the best possible place it can be to live, work, and raise a family. May God bless Kenosha County, and may God bless America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, County Executive Kreuser. And moving on, we have citizen comments. Any citizens wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Karen Cross. I live at 7109
to the podium, ma'am.
I live at 7109. I have copies for everyone here. Thank you, I appreciate that. Before I start my 5 minutes, I'd like to say I think the new Brookside rehab facility is absolutely beautiful. The assisted living facility there is great with the rehab. The new building, that $200 million you spent on that building is well worth it. However, I'm here to talk to you again about Brookside Care Center. I've handed out a packet for my previous testimony about Brookside administration, especially Nurse Fran Pichek, as well as the charges from my attorney have risen and have been filed. I strongly feel that Nurse Fran Pichek and the administration of Brookside Care Center have misappropriated some of that $200 million by our county board for the construction and rehabilitation of a building that was less than 20 years old. That building had a lifetime warranty on tile flooring that the taxpayers have not even finished paying for on the loans, but they have ripped out that floor and replaced it with a less sanitary and more expensive to clean carpet that I outlined during my last testimony. The only rehabilitation the administration did was increase the size of offices by shrinking the size of the residents' community spaces and cafeteria during the time of this installation. Nothing else changed. Sadly, especially for us taxpayers, the money was not spent to generate more money for the county for the building. No changes in any of those rooms. They just tore out all the floor. No upgrades, no changes in plumbing, electrical, bathroom fixtures, no room expansions, no rooms, windows on a building that was less than 20 years old. Just tore out that new flooring. It seems the administration wanted to make their offices bigger. They needed an excuse to move everyone, doubling up the residents to a room while still collecting the funding as if they were in a single room. Putting these residents, these people, our family members, into rooms that were not set up for long-term care, stressing out the residents and the medical staff. There were other alternatives the administration could have pursued. They could have added more rooms. They could have added more wings. Added more rooms mean more money to the county in that facility. But they didn't add rooms. They didn't do anything to bring in more money. Instead, the residents were moved to an assisted living, not the high level of care that they were accustomed to and they were required to have, but to rooms where they were doubled up in a place that was a hazard to them. These were assisted living apartments, not high-level care. As it was, residents got sicker, residents fell, and residents died. To have an unsanitary trip hazard of carpet installed, a solution to a problem that did not exist. In order to allow the administration to make their office bigger, we had to find a way to do this. All of this was needed to move the residents because they couldn't get around doing this with the residents in these buildings during construction. When the Kenosha News covered this incident, Ms. Fran Pichek came to my father's room and threatened, yelled, screamed, terrorized my father and myself, screaming at us in front of people who were not employees of Brookside Care Center. Ridiculous and threatening behavior. State-of-the-art tile is in every hospital across the nation, in every school cafeteria, in every operating room, in every institution because of hygiene. Brookside had good tile, neatly joined and easily cleaned, and with a lifetime warranty. There was no glare, and there's no way that carpeting is going to noticeably minimize noise for a building full of people who are hard of hearing. Joe Andrea built and designed this building in 1995, and it was set up with a huge common area where people could gather for their 3 meals every day. There was a lot of thought and effort, care put into this. This meant residents who couldn't move around easily to socialize with their friends a couple of times a day could see each other. The installation of the new carpeting has separated, isolated them, and a new smaller community area keeps the folks from seeing each other. They can't even regularly play together as a group again, bingo. It's not right, it's not fair that the egos of a couple of people are causing the county to mistreat our parents, our grandparents. This is not the way we show respect to our elders, and certainly not the way we want to be treated. My attorneys have had to correct procedures at Brookside several times because it seems that Nurse Pichek just does what she wants, like using comp tickets to the Brewers game intended for the residents for her staff and family members. I want you to understand that you were bamboozled, County Board, by Nurse Fran Pichek. Visit any hospital, any care center, and you will see that they have long-lasting, easy-to-clean tile, not carpeting that holds bodily fluids, excrement, and other bacteria. The excuse of carpeting was only given to provide a smoke screen for the expanding office size of the administrators. The increased office sizes have resulted in smaller, separated cafeterias that weaken the opportunities for residents to have time to see each other. I hope you can see, to put this right for the residents and the administration, many of the people have been hurt as a result of the shabby move of residents from the high level of skilled care to the low level of care and treatment. They're filing suits against Petrick and Brookside for injuries sustained due to the lesser care and the dangers of the carpet. Ms. Petrick misrepresented the upgrades to you, to the press, and to the family and the residents that are here. This never had to happen. I implore you, carpeting should have never been done.
Thank you. Any more citizens' comments? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. Concerned citizens still homeless. Good evening. I could not disagree more with the county executive. Things are not as rosy as he states. Let's not turn a blind eye to all, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses, so I might mess up. Let's not turn a blind eye for quality of life of all citizens. I asked the county executive office for a simple form that the sheriff's department was denying me. I couldn't believe that a statement form and a citizen's form to be filled out by a citizen could be denied by the sheriff. Then when I called the county executive's office for help, they turned a blind eye and said, no, we won't help you. I asked for an appointment with the county executive, and his secretary, Jenny, said no. I said, does he know about this? He said no. Kenosha County has a problem that I believe has been ignored for several years. This department violates the constitutional rights of citizens on a daily basis. They don't follow state statutes, and they don't follow Kenosha County's ordinances. Their actions are going to be a large liability to this county. Please take a look at the corruption in our law enforcement and our justice system. Let's stop ignoring the problem and let's take a look. If you would please look at that no consent form that was put on your desk today. If you take a look at that, that is a form by the county sheriff's department. That form, I was told by Mr. Baisley, captain there, he told me that all forms are owned by the sheriff's department and only can be filled out by the sheriff's department. Now, if you look at that form, it states, I, Leah, I won't say the last name, and then it says, I give no consent. Now, I would believe that the majority of you looking at that form would believe that it was filled out by her. It was not. It was filled out by the deputy sheriff. And then the deputy sheriff tells you, you need to sign this. Now, I'm no attorney, but I believe this is fraud. When I asked for a statement form today, Mr. Baisley, when I went last week to get a blank statement form to fill out, the secretary told me it's a policy for them not to give it to me. I wrote a letter to the sheriff, and he said that it's a practice we don't give it out. And then when Mr. Baisley talked to me personally, he said it's a procedure that I was told incorrectly. So today, I went down and asked for that form once again. I was denied a public form. I said I'd like to see the policies and the procedures of your comments. Well, lo and behold, he told me there is no such policy. There is no procedure. That's just the way we've been doing it for years. So what we have here is the sheriff's department fills out your statement and they sign it. And then they put down that they witnessed it. Then any other form, they fill it out and tell you to sign it. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not an attorney, but I think that's fraud. So I will be presenting more forms to make, the next time, but for right now, I would hope that we have some supervisors here that would call the sheriff's department and ask if it's true that they fill out the citizens' forms and they sign them, and then they fill out the form and then they write on as the witness. So how in the world can you fill out a form and then witness it? Okay, then they send it on to the DA's office, and the DA's office believes that the citizen filled it out. Okay, you'll see me in 2 weeks, and you'll get some more letters. Thank you for your time, and let's end the corruption in Kenosha County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Moving on, announcements of the chair. I just want to let the supervisors know there's a new copy of the county board rules and procedures on your desk. And that's all I have. I'm going to move on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Gray, do you have the floor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had our initial meeting of Human Services Committee earlier this evening, and we touched upon 4 topics: Division of Aging and Disability, Division of Health, Division of Workforce Development, Division of Veteran Services. Some good information came forth, and you will see on your desk the Kenosha Area Loan Closet, which is medical devices that your constituents can borrow from this loan closet free of charge. The only qualification is they need to be Kenosha County residents. So if it's a wheelchair, walker, instead of your constituents having to purchase them, consider having them take advantage of this particular program. Utilized some 1,700 times, I believe, last year in 2017. So just an FYI on that. The next thing we have is our meeting for Human Services will occur June 5th. It's a Tuesday. But instead of the committee room on the second floor of this building, it will be over at the medical examiner's remodeled facility, which is in the building north to us, safety building. It's on the first floor, western exposure. So you'll be getting information, details about the proceedings there if you'd like to attend and see what your remodeling efforts have been for the medical examiner. Please come to that meeting, 6:15 p.m., Tuesday, June 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Boyd Frederick, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. The Judiciary and Law meeting will be canceled tomorrow because there's nothing on the agenda. However, after our June meeting, we will be touring the facility, Sheriff's facility right behind us. And in August, we'll be going out to the detention center and touring that. And that'll be done after our meeting as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Elbum, you have the floor.
Thank you. I had nothing to report until I just remembered a couple of things. Our first meeting isn't until next Monday. But last week, Mr. Arbett and I attended, and Jenny Tunkett's, a very nice event that one of our employees was honored, Matt Collins from Kenosha County Parks. The Y-Link, which is a division of CABA, the younger business professionals in Kenosha County, were recognized. The 5 rising stars, they call the people that are recognized, and Matt was one of them. And it was a very nice event. 100 people were nominated for this, and so for Matt to be working for the county here for 3 years, to be recognized was a phenomenal thing. And one of the biggest things, I could be off by one event, that I'd like to leave with you after Mr. Kreuser's comments about the park system. I believe it was in 2015, maybe it was 2014. We had 15 events in our county park system, and in the time that Matt has been here, we went to 79 events last year in the county park system. That is unmatched as far as the the drive that Mr. Collins has. That's why he was recognized. So this is the type of employees that we have working for Kenosha County, and I think it's very important that all the supervisors know that. Mr. Kreuser also mentioned the May 15th ribbon cutting at Brookside. I hope people can attend it. We've made it hopefully a good time of day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The more the merrier there. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Supervisor Nordigan, you have the floor.
Yes, I'm sure everyone on the board received a release from Sergeant Mark Malecki about motorcycle accidents. It's fatal motorcycle crash that occurred on Highway W. It's kind of right on the Salem Lakes Randall border there, but between the American Girl and Ski Hill entrance. And this is not an uncommon event. Accidents happen there throughout the year. I'd like to have some sort of study done on this. I mean, fatal accidents every year, or every other year, the same spot every single time, whether you're going northbound, whether you're going southbound on W. It is the same thing. It is something that really needs to be addressed. We need to start looking at this, so I'd like somehow to get that looked at soon. The other two other areas, I know we're looking at some reconstruction on Highway F west of Bassett, but east of Highway F at the intersection of Highway F and FR. FR only goes to the north from there. There's an extreme amount of accidents that happen there too. You can't see over the hill. It is a dangerous situation, and a little bit west of there, there's another curve. Residents in the area are telling me how they're hearing cars crashes after car crashes after car crashes. They may not be as fatal, but there have been some fatalities there as well. So whatever we can do to get these roads safer out in the county. I'm sure speed has a lot to do with it, but those are wide open roads and some are not. So I just like to go on record as trying to get that looked at.
We'll get your concerns addressed with Public Works.
Thank you.
Is that it, Supervisor? Supervisor Retzel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, one of the things we're looking at is the approval of Dave Gertzen. The reason he's not here tonight, he's busy with summers. They have a land meeting to see in the future, and he and I talked about should I go to that or this and so forth and so on, and it was decided that he should go to that to make sure that we have good representation there. So no big deal, but that's where he is. Otherwise, he'd be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisor reports? Seeing none. County Clerk?
County Executive Appointments. Number 4, Supervisor John O'Day to serve on the Kenosha County Board of Health.
Refer to Human Services.
Number 5, Dr. Diane Gerlach to serve on the Kenosha County Board of Health.
Refer to Human Services.
Number 6, John Jansen to serve as the Director of Kenosha County Department of Human Services.
Supervisor Frederick?
Yes, I'd like us to suspend the rules for number 6, number 7, and number 8 on the agenda and vote on them this evening.
Okay, there was a first by Supervisor Frederick. Do I have a second? Second by Supervisor Kubicki. Any discussion on the issue of deferring the rules to vote on these tonight? There doesn't seem to be any discussion, so we'll take the first one. Please. Yeah. What's that? I have a motion. Yeah, I have a motion to suspend the rules. I have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There's one abstention. One nay. The rules have been suspended. Do you want to read 6 again?
Sure.
We can go now.
Number 6, John Jansen to serve as Director of the Kenosha County Department of Human Services.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Number 7, Dave Gearston to serve as Chief Financial Officer and the Director of Kenosha County Department of Finance and Administrative Services.
Supervisor Noodle? Supervisor Noodle, you have the floor.
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. Moved approved by Supervisor Frederick, seconded by Supervisor Terry Rose. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Number 8, please.
Number 8, Raymond Arbit to serve as the Director of Kenosha County Department of Public Works and Development Services.
First by Supervisor Ron Frederick, second by Supervisor Kravicki. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's approved.
Claims, number 2, AT&T property damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Number 3, Kyle Smith vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
And approval of the April 17th, 2018 and April 19th, 2018 minutes by Supervisor Decker.
I make a motion to approve the April 17th, 2018 organizational minutes, committee of the whole minutes, annual meeting minutes, and the April 19th, 2018 minutes.
Approved by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Gens. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. I have a motion to adjourn. So moved. First by Supervisor Noodle, second by Supervisor John Poole. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.